So you guys went on like a gluten-free road trip from Kansas City down through Texas a year or two ago. So those were specifically. So were those gluten restaurants specifically that you guys?
Yeah, so there's an app, Find Me Gluten Free, and you can put in any city, zip code, or wherever, and it's crowdsourced where people put in the information, and so I can find a restaurant in most cities that is 100% gluten free, and if
So there are
not,
some that are
there
100% gluten free.
there are, and then there's ratings where so maybe there's like In and Out. It's not 100% gluten free, but they get it. They have a good protocols in the kitchen to keep it separate. And so, if I look at the app and 95% of the people say they had no issues at this restaurant, I would eat there. And then you got to read the comments to see what they ordered. And
so you had another post that was like a ketchup bottle.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Is it from people like actually touching something with gluten with the tip of it? And
well, it could be that, or if they were eating a burger, handling their bun, and they put ketchup on it, and those bottles stay on the table, and then I sit down next and I grab it and squirt the ketchup on. Now I got gluten on my hand, so if I eat a fry,
so you have to re-sanitize
and so sometimes Sarah will squirt the ketchup on my plate, or I'll eat with a fork and knife, just because they're clean.
Yeah.
And so I've eaten a burger with a fork. People think I'm strange. It's just
like the episode of Seinfeld where they ate the Snickers bar with a knife.
Yeah.
So you just find what works for you, and everybody's different levels of tolerance and precautions necessary. But
yeah.
So I was going to start asking about like the Instagram and the cooking. Have you got anything?
Yeah. I had a couple more. Just kind of a lot has changed. There's been a lot of evolution in, gluten free and a lot more awareness because of people like yourself. Thank you for what you're doing. What about trends or innovations in food or in some of these alternatives? You mentioned some of them, right? But what are some other things you're seeing that are maybe interesting in the gluten free world that are coming up or you're aware of that maybe some other people should know about?
So I think they continue to get better with their recipes and their flours and like I said, bread and pastas are getting better. But some of the big brands are starting to recognize, like Oreo now has a gluten-free Oreo.
Oh, really?
And they eat side by side, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Is it just the white part? And no.
No, it actually got a cookie. And then so other brands, I can't think of any right now, but are Kraft macaroni and cheese. They have it's in a green box, gluten-free. And so I think some of the big brands are starting to come along, and I think that's going to bring the price down.
Is that going to drive the price down?
Yeah.
Because you can pick up a box of macaroni and cheese for like 99 cents or like that. How much is a box of Kraft gluten free?
$3.
Jeez. Wow. Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Wow. Get somebody like Sam's or somebody to start selling it by the case.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go down to Costco, back up your pickup truck, get yourself a pallet of Kraft mac and cheese light.
Like you said, as things progress and you get bigger players into the market and more competition is going to drive that down. I mean, it's a different process of having to make that stuff. But.
Well, and if, the companies that be out there that, that are producing these hybrid wheat strains and things like that, they're just going to get more and more complex and our bodies are going to become more and more resistant, I'm guessing, over time. And there's going to be more of a demand for stuff like this. And as the demand goes up, price will go down.
Yep.
That's going to take a long time. So my last question, we'll transition over a little bit to some of Andy's. We've talked a lot about the benefits of gluten-free. We've talked about the social situations, some of the innovations in the food industry. So when it comes to some tips for maintaining kind of a balanced and nutritious gluten-free diet, so that you're getting all the essentials, because I know and all the nutrients, because I know a lot of times, when you get into a restrictive or a diet where you're saying none of this category, there's things in that category that you need in your body, right? To do your stuff on a daily basis. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I think because so much of the gluten is in carbs and things, you don't get the whole grains and fiber. Fiber is really the
Fiber.
thing that's missing from a lot of gluten-free diets. So
Sugar-free gummy bears. Back to that again. See, that needs to go with a gluten-free.
There
Just,
you
here's
go.
your bag of 15 of them
as you need it.
as needed.
When
PD.
15 a day.
Yeah. And so I eat more vegetables now than I did before.
Okay.
And, I eat a lot of beans and just, make sure I get, fiber, through the, that side
So I
instead.
was going to ask, like, is it Metamucil? Is that like a fiber drink?
Mm-hmm.
Is there gluten in any of that kind of stuff?
I don't believe in that, but again, you have to read the label.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of fiber in Metamucil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was from.
Yeah, I don't know what it's
Like,
made
what
out
kind
of.
fiber it's made from. If that's
Seal husks. I don't know. Whatever. You know.
So you got into cooking, and it's
Yep.
become a hobby.
It's been a hobby.
So
Yeah, so it was so when the Jacob was in probably middle school now, so I started. So him and his buddies were on Instagram and Snapchat. So Sarah got a Snapchat account and I got an Instagram account just to kind of see what him and his buddies were up to.
monitoring the kiddos.
Kind of monitoring the kiddos. And so all I knew about Instagram was what teenage boys were doing, which they weren't cooking.
No.
And so, then now fast forward a year or two and, learning how to make things at home and just things that I couldn't get any other place. And so I'm starting to get better at it. And Jacob says, you ought to start posting some of the stuff on Instagram. And the only thing I knew about Instagram was teenage boys. I'm like, nobody wants to see this stuff. And so I started posting and there's a community for everything.
Right.
I didn't know that. I mean, whatever you're into, there's a corner of social media.
You don't want to be on the ones that he's
No.
Yeah,
feeling.
right back at you, buddy.
Right.
Watch out, they're glass house.
And that's been probably one of the best things I've done is, I know more about gluten-free and nutrition than my doctors do.
I was gonna
Just
ask
out of
you
necessity.
if you charge your doctors a copay when you did all
I-
that
absolutely.
research at the time.
Right?
Right.
And so, but I've connected to so many people through social media and become aware of products. So many of these gluten-free products are like a small mom and pop
Mhm.
bakery or shop. And they're not available everywhere.
Well, they've probably done it out of necessity, like you
Exactly.
have.
Yeah.
And they all have a story. They've got a son or a daughter or a spouse,
Right.
and whatever their niche is, they create it. And then, so I've discovered a lot of great products, and you can buy them online now. And so, yeah. And so as the kids get older, our sons are 21 and 23. I'm not driving kids around, going to sporting events. So I have free time.
You're sitting at home making Instagram posts.
Sitting at home and
there you go. Right.
But like, one of the, as we traveled around the U.S. and going to different gluten-free places, I had fish and chips at several restaurants, and that has become my favorite meal. So I became obsessed with learning how to make fish and chips at home, gluten-free. And I made a lot of bad fish and chips, but now I've got it down where anybody would enjoy it. You wouldn't know.
Are you malt vinegar on your fish?
So I can't have malt.
Oh,
So
right.
almost anything that says malt.
So even the malt vinegar is
Malt vinegar.
gluten.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
But I can have, balsamic or other vinegars, but it's not
Right.
malt.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
But
Well, yeah, like you made a comment. There's stuff every time I get on Instagram, Dave's like the first one. It's
Oh,
like on
I
there.
know. Yeah,
And
all over the place. Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, I'll talk to Emma and I'll see her hand like in something, like
Yep.
her reaching out to
Right.
from the videos that
Yeah.
he makes. Like he made this for the group, so the
Oh,
group's
yeah.
oh yeah.
all in
and
there. And I'm like,
entrees, sides, desserts, all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Mhm.
What's
yeah.
your favorite, like gluten free? I mean, obviously we have the
Yeah.
beer here today. But what about cocktails? Like, I imagine most liquors are gluten free, aren't they?
They are. And so like whiskey is almost the same ingredient list as beer,
Yeah.
but when it's distilled, the gluten stays behind and it's
Mhm.
pure coming across whatever the distillery is.
yeah,
Right.
So yeah, spirits are gluten free.
Okay.
Wine is gluten free.
Mhm.
And the only time you get into trouble is sometimes if they throw like a scoop of the mash back into it while it's aging.
Right.
Now they put the gluten back in.
that's like Boulevard, like
Mhm.
their wheat beer. They've got, I think that's yeast that they throw back in at the end.
Yeah.
But
Get that
some
cloudy.
of those distilleries do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, their mother yeast. Yeah.
So you've gone through, and so your Instagram took off,
Mhm.
and you started getting like products sent to you, and
Yep.
your followership took off, and then you got involved in these cruises, like these Celiac, because you're doing
Yep.
workshops and classes and stuff on those.
So, yeah, so the Celiac cruise, if you've been on a big cruise ship,
Mhm.
and so every dining room has their own kitchen. And so the lady that organizes it, if she can get enough people on the same ship, gluten-freers, to fill a dining room, then we can have our own kitchen for the
So
cruise.
that'll be a gluten-free
Gluten-free kitchen the whole cruise. And so she has cruises in Bahamas, Alaska, some in Europe. And so I've gotten to know, Sarah and my 21st or 25th wedding anniversary would have been 2020. And so they happened to have their first cruise in January of 2020. And we did that for our anniversary, and kind of skeptical, but it was fantastic.
Wow.
You know, you'd be able to order from a full menu.
Yeah.
And
You
not
know?
have to worry.
Not have to
Yeah.
worry. Don't
You
have to
know.
ask the questions of the staff.
Yeah, or
and-
think that you're going to be stuck in your cabin for a day or two
right.
on your vacation because somebody screwed something up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody slipped in a wheat stock in the ship and everybody.
Yeah, because you just got back. Well, your last one was to Alaska.
To
right?
Alaska. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep. So it was on Royal Caribbean. We went to out of Seattle to Alaska, and I guess one stop in Canada.
So what? So do you do cooking sessions on that? What do you?
No, so the Royals doesn't allow any passengers or groups to, handle like heat sources or anything.
Yeah.
And so they always have some Q&As where I've participated in, and I've gotten to know the owners and just kind of help out where I can.
So you're kind of a go-to guy in the gluten-free community.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because that was never the goal.
Yeah.
I was just doing it,
Yeah.
as a hobby, and there's not a lot of men who are openly gluten-free.
Right.
So I think because of that, it's kind
Dave's
of
come out of the closet.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
He's gluten-free.
Right.
so I kind of
Right.
stand out,
Yeah.
and so I tend to get attention from some of these companies out there. So they send me products, and I'll
Great.
prepare them and do a review and post a recipe.
I
and
know. And so you do giveaways.
Do
and
giveaways,
those
yep.
kind of
Yeah,
things,
that's
too.
awesome. That. And I
Yeah.
have to mention, I just realized what your shirt meant.
Yeah.
It looks like the AC/DC logo. It's GF and the little lightning symbol, and then DF, gluten free, dairy free, and it says gluten free
Gluten-Free
Dave
Dave,
underneath.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's
So
great. I'll
that's-
have to put that up on.
Yeah. So go to
So-
Instagram, follow Gluten-Free Dave.
Emma helped me make this shirt.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
I-
of course she did.
Yeah.
Of course she did. Yeah.
She's creative.
Yeah.
She's very creative. She's
Yeah.
very, very creative. Well, it's really interesting. I think there's still a lot of questions out there, about celiac disease and gluten free, because in the grand scheme of things, it's fairly newer-ish
Mhm.
Yeah.
as far as there being awareness of it,
Right.
and
Well, I mean, and apparently going gluten-free prevents you going gray.
clearly, yeah, because he's 27, right? And you're 74,000 or something like that. I mean, if that's what it takes for me not to have this patch,
Yeah.
I'll do that instead.
I told you a couple episodes back, or a few episodes
I know
back.
you
that,
told me. Yeah,
Dave
you're
looks
right.
like he's just got out of college.
I'm questioning
got
whether
one
he's
foot in
gone
the
through
grave.
puberty yet or not.
I-
Personally, just we have to do it all. Anyways,
He's got
okay.
a 12-pack when he lifts his shirt up. Not a 6-pack.
I'm sure he does.
He's like,
I'm sure his abs have abs.
Having a carb.
It's 1996. This is the Carter era. That's what I said on the other episode. Well, no, I mean, I glad to have you on the show and sharing kind of your journey with gluten free or gluten and celiac disease, and I know a lot of people will adopt I'll call it carb free, right?
Mhm.
Gluten free, what do I call it? A lifestyle for more health purposes, and obviously a lot of people have to do it out of necessity, And
Yep.
I used to have an assistant that had celiac disease, and it was horrible. It was horrible, bad situation. So, I'm glad there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of advances, and there's a lot more food options. Unfortunately, it still is very expensive,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate the tips as far as sticking to kind of the meats and sticking to your fruits, your vegetables, more fresh cooking, I'm sure.
Yep.
Obviously, check the Wonder Bread back at the grocery store. Don't bring it home for you.
Yeah. Don't bring the Wonder Bread home.
What about, classic last question before we wrap it up, what about resources? So people are interested to learn more about, gluten intolerances, celiac disease, maybe recipes, what resources would you recommend to people?
Well, the first one would be Gluten-Free Dave.
Right.
On Instagram.
Right.
Correct.
Lots of recipes, lots of good ideas. I can tell you that.
But there is with social media, there's a lot of bad information out there.
Sure.
And so you really have to be careful on, and because even though you may have 5 people in the same room with celiac disease, they all have different tolerances and different things they're comfortable with. And so you got to find your own space and what works for you. And there's like the Celiac Disease Foundation, I think it's called. They have accurate information, and so we're looking for truths, and there's sources out there.
Okay.
But and double check things. I do not believe a shortcut on a TikTok video, and
don't believe everything you see on TikTok.
Can you imagine that?
Holy crap!
Shut your mouth. Everything about us is real.
Right.
Okay.
And Dave, can you give your number out so people can call you?
That's right. Exactly.
1-900. Okay, now hey, it is whatever Tuesday night. No, so when I was doing some research and googling you and stalking you, don't worry, it's totally legal this time. I think there's a website where there's a list of people who are experts in this field. Do you know what website I'm talking about? I think you're on it. It seems like there's a lot of different people who are like celiac.
Well, so you have a conference or like
Maybe that's what it was.
You have a deal coming up in the second week in December-ish. You're on like a panel.
Oh yeah, there's a Instagram Live where there's 3 bloggers, and then Bob's Red Mill is they make grains and wheat flours or not. So it's just
well, it looked like there was about 12 different. If we saw the same
I think
one,
so.
there was
Yeah,
about
you can
12
click on
different.
each person.
You gotta check with your PR people and find out where you're.
Kind of like us. You're on a lot more websites.
Okay, yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
you have more websites you're on than followers that you have.
Right. So that's interesting. I'm gonna have to go see what that was. I'm not sure what that is.
I saw something on. I'm pretty sure I saw something on Instagram, and you were on there as like one of a handful of people. It may have been the one you're talking about. I think it's like the.
Maybe it was his ghost restaurant.
December.
Yeah. So I am.
Come on down to Gluten-Free Dave.
Right.
Free gluten.
That's right. Gluten-free Captain D.
Captain Dave's gluten-free fish and chips or whatever the hell it was.
D&D stands for Dave.
That's right. All right. Yep. Very good. Well, Dave, great to have you, in the studio and learn a little bit more about gluten and your journey, with what's going on with you with your health, and glad you're a healthy guy and look like you're 23. I guess we need to learn about all that and maybe do something about it a little bit ourselves, right?
Dave's one of the first people that I actually reached out to about being on the podcast.
That's right.
We first started to do it, and it's just taken. We've gone back and forth. I don't know how many different times.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always calling like at the 11th hour too, like, hey.
Yeah.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah, I get that. I get those phone calls too, for sure. Okay, so good stuff. Good topic.
I kind of feel like I need to go gluten-free.
I know, right?
I mean,
you never know.
I may have to go food free, honestly. Like I feel like I need to,
because I'm going to the doctor on Friday, and that's what I was telling you today. I just feel like I'm wiped. I don't have any joint pain or anything like that, but it's just like
it's because you're old.
Something's getting
TMB syndrome. Too many birthdays.
Too many birthdays. Yeah,
that'll do it. I thought I had Dicky do.
Yeah, you thought you had Dicky do syndrome? I don't think you have Dicky do.
Your belly hangs further down than your Dicky do.
Well, that's why we're talking to Dave this week. Now, next week, man, that was a transition. Wow. Yeah. Who do we have on next week? Same line, men's health.
It's along the same. We're going to carry on this trend. So we have Patrick Wilson Sr. Pat used to go by Fat Pat. I don't know if he's a PH Fat Pat.
Oh,
yeah. So like He's fat.
Right. But I'm guessing not anymore, right?
No, Pat, back in January, actually, Pat started fasting program.
Okay.
And I won't go into a whole lot of detail because we want him to tell his story.
Yeah.
And he'll have absolutely no problem telling his story.
Yeah.
He sent me a picture of his scale yesterday, and Pat is down like 70 some pounds since January. Wow. And it was solely fasting and some food changes initially. He started a few months ago. He started adding more physical activity, and damn, every time
you have to when you chop a leg off. I mean, goddamn, how else you gonna lose that much weight?
Every time that boy sends me a message or a picture of his scale, he's dropped like 10 flipping pounds. Man.
Oh my Lord!
I mean, he's half the man he used. Well, not quite.
Yeah, just stop eating. Just stop eating. Right?
No, he's so he's going to talk to us about that next week.
And I'm sure we'll tie intermittent fasting and we got a lot of good information around
that. And he's in the process now of putting some like what his plan is, like A to Z. Like here's what you do every day.
Yeah.
Here's what you eat. Here's what you do. Here's the windows. Here's the So he told me he's working on that right now.
I love that. Well, that's great. That's perfect. I can't wait to have him on. Oh, by the way, speaking of, we're talking about gluten-free. We're talking about fasting next week. When you're coming up with a grocery list for these meal plans, which by next week that's an easy one. There's no grocery list when you're fasting. Okay.
There is a grocery list.
I know. I'm kidding. But oh my God, technology intersection here. ChatGPT. Oh. Have you messed around ChatGPT?
I have not.
Okay,
good for your posts.
It's an AI app thing. I went in there the other day and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to do keto. We'll talk about that more next week if I'm still doing it. Anyways, and I'm like, hey, give me a meal plan for 7 days for intermittent 1 meal a day fasting for a 43-year-old male with a grocery list. And it's like, sure, you got it. Poops it out. Meal plan, breakfast, lunch, dinner, meal plan. Here's the cost. We went and bought you the food for you. It didn't do all that. It was crazy. So if you're trying a gluten-free lifestyle,
it'd be interesting for you to go in and do that.
Check
and
just
that would be very interesting.
To see how accurate it is. Because I know you're saying that in all sincerity.
Sure, it's not going to be 100% accurate.
It'd be interesting for you to go in and do that and to say what you're looking for, what you want it to do, and see actually how accurate it is, or if it goes off of the rail.
That would be.
Yeah.
It's ChatGPT. Right?
Yeah, it's just an app. It's totally free. You can upgrade it for.
You can also use it to put together your
text
listings for your Instagram posts,
and your TikTok posts.
Yeah, he doesn't. You don't do TikTok, do you? You just do Instagram.
I have an account, but I haven't posted to it in a while.
Yeah, we'll post it for you. So, hey, let's try this last beer. Do a cheers. I got a few jokes.
Man, are you guys like chugging these freaking things? Because I'm like used to
sipping. Have a nipple on
I need a nipple apparently because I'm like
I'm
used to sipping whiskey, and you guys are like chugging. I gotta catch up. Hang on.
Right? Oh.
So
I'm gonna have to come up with a cute name for.
Yeah, the Duchess is in Honduras right now.
So this one's my favorite. This is the Fat Randy IPA.
Well, okay, so we just had Big Randy,
Big Henry.
Yep. So we had Big Henry. We had Favorite Blonde, and now we're having Fat Randy's IPA.
Yeah. Fat Randy's IPA.
This I kind of feel like I'm headed up a mountain to the ski lodge.
That's right. So
Randy,
get
your Uggs on. I can tell him right there. Yeah.
Tom Brady wears them. Tom Brady gets away with a lot of shit.
He does get away. Okay, while we're drinking, more. I have some jokes.
Okay, I don't have jokes. I just have my would you rather. So let's hear some.
Andy,
did you find some gluten
There's
jokes?
your jokes. I've got 3.
Dave's probably never heard a gluten joke.
I'm sure he's never heard a gluten joke in his life. All right. What is the difference between ass and gluten?
Come on, Dave. Hang on. Let's see if he gets it.
The difference between.
Like getting ass and gluten, or just like an ass?
What is the difference between ass and gluten?
Okay, he's not going to tell us.
Don't know.
I'm not feeling it.
Okay. No one eats gluten anymore.
Okay.
Okay. I'm good. What do you call an Alabama person with a gluten fetish? What do you call an Alabama person with a gluten fetish?
Is it Alabama?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Rolling Tide, and
I'm thinking something to do with your kin.
yeah.
No, we talked about pumpkin pie
Yeah,
last week.
pumpkin
What do you call an Alabama person with a gluten fetish? Inbred.
Inbred.
So it did have something to do with kin.
A little bit. A little bit. I like this one. What do you call a hooker?
I don't know. What do you call her?
Bailey? Oh, I'm sorry. What do you call a hooker with a gluten intolerance?
Hooker with a gluten intolerance.
A prostitute.
Prostitute.
Pasta.
A prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was kind of a dad joke, too.
You know what you call a hooker with no legs?
I don't know.
Nightcrawler.
Oh,
Sorry, it just made me think of that when you said prostitute.
A hooker with no legs. Nightcrawler.
A nightcrawler.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. So one of the things we do here, Dave, on our show is we kind of cap things off with a would you rather. There's no theme here necessarily in mind. We have hopefully gone to different websites or been creative in our own
or found our own questions and have somebody get them for us.
And we're going to do a rapid fire 5 questions. Andy, would you like to be asked first, or would you like to be asked?
You know what? I always ask first, so I'll let you go first.
I'll go first. I'll go first. Okay. All right. Would you rather give up sex or give up food for a year?
Oh my Lord!
Back to the fasting.
Yeah, I may have to fast. What? Like all food for a year?
I'll give you. Okay.
I mean,
medically supervised. You have nutrient pills, coffee, black tea.
Food's gone.
Food's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You seen my girlfriend?
Yes. Yeah. And for $4.99 a month on OnlyFans, we can too.
No. She's a $29.99.
I just kidding, Stacey.
$29.99.
Oh, $29.99? Yeah. I can imagine.
Okay.
I can imagine. That's how much I pay. Okay, so. We did that one. Profession question.
Oh.
Would you rather be a commercial scuba diver, asterisk, for $500,000, we'll get to there, for $500,000 a year, or a cell phone tower maintenance provider for $250,000 a year? Now, a commercial scuba diver, you know what they do from time to time, a lot of the time, is they unclog stuff at water treatment facilities and S like that.
Yeah.
$500,000.
As I've gotten older, the higher I go, the shakier I get. That didn't used to be a thing for me, like at all.
Like when you stand up out of bed, you start getting shaky. That kind of high. Yeah.
As I've gotten older, it's been like, you know what? This is not going to probably end very well.
Yeah.
I'd have to do the scuba thing.
Yeah.
I'm okay being in the scuba suit and
wading through like.
I'd have shit on to
yeah.
I'd have shit on to prevent the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
I'm good.
Would you rather say your ex's name during intimate moments?
No.
Or your partner's best friend's name?
Oh my God. Neither one. No.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. What about you? What do you got? I got more, but I'm gonna let you hit some.
Would you flip a coin if heads meant you get $1 billion and tails meant you die instantly?
No.
You wouldn't take the chance?
Nope.
50-50, baby.
Yeah, I know. If I don't do it 100%,
put the coin away.
Yeah, put the coin away. Put the coin away.
Would you rather be half your height or double your weight?
Ooh. Yikes. 'Cause I don't want small man syndrome.
I get that.
Fun.
I got to think about this like that.
Is my stuff still, you
Of
know,
course, if you were
good.
half the height, you might be double your.
I was gonna say because that could look giant.
Yeah. So would you
Like, I
rather?
could lean.
Would you rather be half the height you are now,
Yeah.
or double your weight with the height you are now?
Oh. I guess I'm gonna go with double my weight.
Oh wow! See, I didn't think
Rough.
you'd go that way. I figured you'd think there was things you could do standing up that you have to lay down to do now.
Ooh, now that
Okay,
I like
too
that.
late. Too
Hey,
late.
Jacob, listen.
Would you rather have a dog? Would you rather have a dog with a baby's face or a baby with a dog's face?
Would I rather have a dog with a baby's face or a
Baby with a dog's face. Yeah.
Well, I already had Aiden as a child. So I hope he's watching.
Aiden.
He's gonna kill me. A
Oh,
kid.
so does that mean you already had a baby with a dog's face? Is that what you're saying?
No, thank God my kids all took after me. I'll go dog with a baby's face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather be naked at work for an hour if you had a job?
You son of a bitch.
Or be dropped off naked a mile from your home? Sorry.
No. Hey man, I can run. Drop me. No, you're good. You're good.
Would you rather be naked at work for an
Yeah.
hour or be dropped off
No.
naked a mile from your house?
Yeah, drop me off in Metcalf. I'll run, man.
Really?
Sure. Oh,
An hour at work?
No, I don't want to scare people with that or have
Scare
to explain all the
people?
tattoos.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I mean?
Would you rather live over as the opposite gender or start your life over as a kid?
Either which direction do I have the knowledge I have today, or am I starting fresh?
No, you're either you're starting over again. Would you rather live your life over as the opposite sex or start life over again as a kid?
Well, couldn't that be one and the same?
No, I think you're starting completely over. Would you rather be a woman, or would you rather come back as a woman, or relive your life as a kid?
I'll start over the way I did it the first time. Yeah.
That's what I figured you'd do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
what I
making more
figured
money.
you'd do.
What have a job.
I really didn't mean to hammer that in like that.
No,
I
you're
tried
good.
to-
You're good. All good fun, man.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, episode 10 of the can.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Check
David?
out Holidaily.
Yeah.
Check out Gluten-Free Dave on Instagram.
I think it's gluten-free.dave on everything, pretty much, right?
Gluten-free.dave.
TikTok. Do you have a
Push him-
website?
Push
No,
him
no
over.
website. Okay.
You've been at 18.5 for a while on Instagram.
I
What the hell?
Yep. The algorithm has changed. I steadily grew, and then just when Reels became a thing,
Yeah.
people just thumb through Reels and they don't follow anymore.
Mhm.
So it's
notice.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. True. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, we appreciate you being on the show today. A lot of good stuff. What's that?
We'll use that as our excuse.
Yeah.
We'll use that. Yeah.
We do a lot of reels.
We do a lot of social stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah.
All right, so number 10 in the can, Dave. Thank you.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Well, thank
All
you.
right.
Final
Cheers.
cheers.
Yeah.
With the Big Henry, or which one do we have?
Fat Randy.
Fat Randy. We already
Fat
had Big
Randy. We already did Big Henry. Or wait,
Yep.
that sounded wrong. Oh no, we did do Big Henry. Yep, did him hard.
You did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
We pulled the train. Favorite Big Henry, Big Fat.
We sure
Randy.
did. Yeah. It's gonna be a rough morning. No, these are really good. No sugar-free gummies involved.
You need to see if they can come up with one called Tiny Matt.
Tiny
Tiny
man.
Man. Tiny Man the dancer. Yeah.
All right.
Guys, thank you very
Thank
much.
you guys for
Appreciate
coming.
everybody.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thanks, guys.
Whew.